All right, let's move on to the next subject, which is, and I have absolutely no interest in this, but you said you wanted to talk about it because you watched the movie, so that's what we'll do. Is it
What are you talking about? You talking about
Mickey 17?
I didn't watch that.
I did.
Not you, Peg Leg Willie down there. Let's see, what's a good trailer to watch?
And always go with the second trailer.
Yeah, this was only 2 minutes long.
On Earth, nothing was working out, and I wanted to get the hell out of there.
You're applying to be an expendable? You read through the paperwork.
Yeah. I should have read through it.
That's it. Mickey, deep breaths, fill your lungs. Imagine there's an unknown virus in the air.
And you're sucking in every single microscopic particle floating around.
All the viruses.
So good?
There really was an unknown virus in the air. Lethal one.
See you tomorrow.
Fellow pioneers, almost every single one of you will be remembered throughout history.
They made me work my ass off, giving me one shitty mission after another.
You're an expendable. You're here to be expended.
Every time I died, they just printed me out again. Everyone asked, what's it feel like to die? The ship was filled with mostly dickheads. But Nasha, she's always loved me. That's when everything changed. Multiple.
In the case of multiples, we exterminate every individual.
Which body goes first? One at a time is twice the fun.
You don't look like you're printed out. You're just a person.
It's not your fault. This is a fight to the death.
The simple fact is, we're in a state of war. And our survival is in the balance.
I got a job to do.
Mickey Bonds, fighting right to the end.
My great gift to mankind. Are you afraid to die? This time I wasn't scared.
All right. I'll go first. I think that this just seems so derivative. It just seems uninspiring. I don't like that actor, the particular actor. I still don't get why they got him to play Batman. He just was wrong for the part. But that's not what this is about. It's about Mickey 17. I just think it's like I've seen this movie before. In fact, there's a movie called Moon. Remember the guy from Iron Man 2? He played the villain, Hammer, the Hammer guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Norman Rockwell. Not Norman Rockwell. Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sam Rockwell. He played in a movie called Moon. It's the same exact freaking story. It's basically the same story. Same exact story. You know, he's a clone. He keeps dying. They keep cloning him to fulfill this mission or whatever. It's almost the same exact story. I mean, it's a little different, but it's almost the same. It's like, is there anything creative in Hollywood anymore? I mean, it's just derivative. It's just derivative.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie, so
it just doesn't look interesting to me at all. But you saw the movie, so what do you think?
It was entertaining for my lack of work what I was doing. So,
you know, another thing I don't like. I don't like when there's no finality. It cheapens sort of like life, and it cheapens, you know, the adventure when your character is practically immortal. There's some interesting things you could do with immortal characters, and some would say this is one of them. But I don't know. I just find it boring. I find this particular take on it boring. Probably because I've seen it before. I've seen it done in other types of things. And you tell me, does he has to grasp with being a clone? Does he lose something by being cloned all the time? Is there something that he has to struggle with? Because I remember in Game of Thrones, even though this isn't a clone, but remember when they keep resurrecting the one guy who has the fire sword?
Beric Dondarrion.
Yeah,
he kept on losing a piece of himself.
Yeah, he always loses a little bit of himself every time he gets.
Well,
so there's at least some kind of consequence to it. Whereas this right here is just
Well, the only conflict I saw with him in the clone is the Mickey 17 is a wimp, and the clone that came after him, Mickey 18, is more aggressive and he's more proactive. Like, like there's a scene in the movie, right, when they first find out he was there. Like, there's two of them, and he says, "Well, I gotta kill you." He says, in the Mickey 17, like, why do you have to kill me? He's like, you know what the rules are. If there's more than one guy, like, they're gonna kill all of us, so you gotta go. So he goes to throw this man in the incinerator versus having to die. Like, all right.
Because the guy just lets him do it.
No, he weasels his way out of it, basically. But I get what you're saying. There's no loss. Only thing he was worried about was losing his girlfriend, not the fact that he was going to lose his life or anything. I'm like, really? Like, they're trying to kill you.
It cheapens it, and that's why I don't like Wolverine as a character. I remember loving him when I was a kid, but as I got older, he's just a cheap character. There's no finality. I mean, you can't kill Wolverine. Don't get me wrong, but the way they write him, they make him practically indestructible.
Just to touch on the Wolverine thing. There's one comic book I really like Wolverine. It was my Age of Apocalypse comic book, and he had to jump out of a balloon, and there's a balloon burning him, like burning underneath him, and he had to go through the balloon, and his healing factor couldn't keep up with trying to save him. Mm-hmm. And he was sitting there thinking the whole time, like, I'm gonna burn up before this saves me. So there's so many things I needed to say to people, but just to agree with you, like, he basically came through it unscathed, because at the end of the book, all you see is everything's healing on him. He just really burnt up. I'm like, okay, all that speech was for nothing, huh?
For nothing, yeah. There's no finality. I remember watching the X-Men cartoon from the 90s, and if Wolverine got shot with a bazooka or got really beat up bad by Sabretooth, it'd take him a week to recover. I mean, if any normal person, there would be mortal injuries. But for him, he did.
So his healing factor, kill people, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So his healing factor was still, it was still amazing. But there was consequences to being damaged too badly. Yeah, I remember X-Men 3, where like,
he was burning away and it was healing just as fast.
It's like
I'm the only one that can get closer to her. Like,
you got a freaking Phoenix who could like just incinerate things on an atomic level.
That was not Phoenix.
That Wolverine's healing factor. Yeah.
Hold on. Let's just first say that was not Phoenix. I don't know what that was, but that was not Phoenix. But the other takeaway from this movie, the one thing I did like is like because the more interesting character was the last clone he had, the 18, because he was like, man, you gotta be proactive. Like, they're gonna kill us, so we gotta kill them before they kill us. Mm-hmm. And always everybody's like, no, you can't do it. He's the great leader. I'm like, the great leader's trying to kill me, so he has to go. Like, I like.
So the clones kind of like were like different aspects of his personality, basically.
I can't say that. Those two had two different personalities, but they're the only two clones.
You know what I'm saying? They were kind of like stand-ins for like aspects of his personality. Like some were stronger than others. Sort of like remember that movie? Remember that episode with Raven, and she's in the astral plane.
Yeah, and she had the red and the blue.
Yeah, but they were like different aspects of her personality, but because they were different aspects, they were stronger in those particular ones. They were different colors or whatever.
If I saw more clones, I would say that, but it could have it could have been a defect too. So
yeah,
because I can't base it off of just two, like because even if you abuse anything long enough, it's going to turn his teeth on you. So it could have been just that clone. Once he saw the shock of him seeing the wimpy version of him, I'm like, no, I'm not going to put myself through this shit. I'm going to fight back. So it could have always been there. It's just the shock of seeing himself brought the real man out of him. Who knows? But he was a beta male in this book, from this story for the most part. I'm like, oh, okay, you saw the shit.
That seems to be kind of like the trend in Hollywood when they do male characters these days.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, bro.
I mean, it's not absolutely true, but it seems that be the kind of like the norm now.
Well, let's look at it. I'll give the movie a 5 out of 10 because it was entertaining for what I was doing at the time. When I watch it again, I wouldn't pay for it. But on another aspect, I agree with you on him not being Batman, but I don't know at this day and age I don't know enough Hollywood actors right now that I would cast as Batman. But and then
they could have found somebody else. I'm sorry.
But then he's not the main go-to Batman right now either.
What is that sound?
That would be Carbon.
You like banging on the desk?
I'm banging on the desk. What are you talking about?
Or like a bang. It sounds like someone's banging on the desk or something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not. I think the movie. I'm not interested in watching it. Now, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of movies that have been released recently that I don't want to watch.
Lucid Studio.